Today, we're not just talking about storing data. We're going to be architects. We're drawing up the blueprint for a modern digital library, a single, powerful home for all of your organization's knowledge. And we're building it on Amazon S3. Let's get into it. Let's be real for a second. Think about your company's data right now. Is it kind of like that junk drawer everyone has? Stuff scattered all over the place, across dozens of systems? Or is it a powerful, organized library where you can find exactly what you need right when you need it? If you're like most, it's probably the junk drawer. So today, we're going to architect the library. So, the solution to that messy junk drawer? It's what we call an S3 data lake. It's really just a central place on AWS that holds everything, from nice, neat spreadsheets to unstructured logs and even videos. And the most important part of that definition is at any scale. This digital library can grow pretty much infinitely, so you'll never have to worry about running out of shelf space. All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to walk through the blueprint piece by piece. First, we'll lay the foundation with the 3 essential data zones. Then we'll talk about the shelving system, how to actually organize the data. We'll cover the library's card catalog, which makes everything discoverable, and of course, security. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with an architect's checklist to bring it all home. Okay, first things first, the core structure. You wouldn't build a real library as just one massive open room, right? No way. You'd have a loading dock for new arrivals, a workshop for processing, and then the public shelves. Well, your data lake is exactly the same, and we call these zones. So data starts its life in the raw zone. Picture this as the loading dock. It comes in totally untouched, straight from the source. It's the pure, pristine, original copy. From there, it gets moved over to the cleansed zone. This is our workshop. Here, we run jobs to clean the data up, validate it, and get everything into a standard format. Finally, the data graduates to the curated zone. This is the main library floor, where everything is polished, organized, and ready for your data scientist and analyst to check out. And this is really the magic of the whole process. You see the before and after right here. Data starts out raw, maybe unstructured, and honestly pretty inefficient to query. But in that curated zone, it's structured into something called a columnar format. Now, why on earth does that matter? Well, it means when you ask a question, the system doesn't have to read the whole book. It can just grab the specific chapter it needs. It's what makes everything blazing fast and turns that data pile into a truly valuable asset. Okay, so we've got our different rooms figured out. But what about the shelves inside those rooms? I mean, a library with books just thrown everywhere is pretty useless, right? It's just chaos. That's why having a logical folder and partitioning strategy is absolutely non-negotiable. And this is what that organization looks like in the real world. Check out this S3 path. Instead of one giant folder, we've broken it down logically. This path points directly to sales data, specifically for February of 2026. See those little year equals and month equals tags? That's the secret sauce. It's called partitioning, and it's a total game changer because query engines can use those tags to skip scanning tons of irrelevant data, which makes your searches incredibly fast and way, way cheaper. All right, things are looking good. The data's clean, it's organized on the shelves, but how does anyone actually find anything? You can't just have people wandering around the library hoping they stumble on the right information. You need a card catalog. Well, in the AWS universe, that card catalog is the AWS Glue Data Catalog. Now, it's important to know, it doesn't hold the actual data, the books themselves. It just holds the information about the data, what we call metadata. Things like what are the table names, what are the columns, and what's the exact S3 path to find it. It is the master index for your entire library. And you really can't overstate how important this catalog is. It's the linchpin of the whole system. It's what makes all that data discoverable. It gives you a single unified view of everything you have. And crucially, it enables powerful query engines like Amazon Athena to find what they're looking for instantly. Honestly, without the catalog, you just have a bunch of organized files. With it, you have a living, breathing, queryable database. Okay, let's talk about something that's absolutely critical: security. You wouldn't build a world-class library and then just leave the doors wide open, right? Of course not. And in our data lake, security is built on 3 main pillars. The first pillar, the foundation really, is encryption. This is like having a lock on every single book. We encrypt the data at rest, when it's just sitting on the shelf in S3, and in transit, anytime it's moving across the network. That way, even if someone managed to get in, all they'd see is complete unreadable gibberish. Next up, Pillar 2, access control. And we handle this with something called AWS IAM policies. Just think of these as library cards. Every single user or service gets a card that says exactly which rooms they can go into and what they're allowed to do there. So a data engineer might have access to the workshop, but a business analyst can only read from the public shelves. And the third pillar is all about how people use their library cards. We set up secure access patterns. So when an analyst uses a tool like Amazon Athena, it first shows its IAM library card to the Glue card catalog to find a book's location. Then, and only then, is it given temporary, super secure permission to go read that one specific book from the S3 shelf. It ensures all access is controlled and audited. Whew, okay, we've gone through a lot, from the basic layout to the locks on the doors. So let's pull this all together into one final, super clear checklist. The architect's summary. So here it is, the whole blueprint on one page. For storage, you've got your 3 zones, raw, cleans, and curated. For organization, you use that smart partitioning we talked about. For metadata, let AWS glue crawlers do the heavy lifting and automate everything. For security, and listen, this one is huge, always apply the principle of least privilege. That just means you only give people the exact permissions they need and nothing more. It's your single best defense. And finally, for access, you empower your analysts with powerful serverless tools like Athena. That's it. That's your blueprint. And just like that, you've got the blueprint. We've taken what was a messy pile of data and architected it into this powerful, secure digital library. The foundation is laid, the shelves are stocked, and the doors are open. Really, the only question left for you is, what story will you discover first?